Hello again. It's Ben from Couchside Resistance. Welcome. If you're new here, please give this video a chance and try to watch all the way through. If you don't, that's fine. I'm not doing this to go viral. I'm just doing this because I enjoy talking about these things. And today I wanted to talk about the evangelical misconceptions of the Crusades. Now, I think in order to juxtapose the Christian evangelical revisionist version of the Crusades, you have to look at the 7th century with assurance, excuse me. And Umar's assurance essentially was this caliph's, he was a caliph named Umar ibn al-Khattab, I believe that's his name. And basically he promised to protect holy sites, property, and essentially religious freedom. A nice change of pace in the ancient world. Religious freedom. Basically, he gave Christians the freedom to worship. And in fact, there was this instance when a patriarch named Sophronius invited him into a church to pray, and he refused, not out of disrespect, but to essentially not confuse the congregation, I think, and also keep a distinction between Islam and Christianity, I guess. It was not out of disrespect. That's all I know. And now you have to go all the way to the 11th century, which is 1095, with Pope Urban II's address in Clermont. His rhetoric was inflammatory to the high heavens. It was dehumanizing. Some of the things that he said was that Muslims were alien to God. A very strident, violent saying. And also said that he also promised riches to the poor Crusaders. And essentially, a lot of evangelicals like to claim that they fought out of piety, but in reality, like Pope Urban, which was Pope Urban II, which I'm still sure that the Catholics see the Pope is infallible today, was guaranteeing them salvation for fighting in this war. So there was so many things that show that this war was to inflict as much damage on the supposed enemies of Christianity. And what was really astonishing, before any knight got to Jerusalem, there was a huge massacre in the Rhineland area of Germany, and Jews from I don't remember all the towns, but Cologne was one, Mainz was one, Trier was one, and Jews were just dragged out of their homes, killed, forced converted, or they committed suicide because they didn't want to be baptized. Thousands of Jews. And bishops actually were trying to block Crusaders from doing this, but were failing. And and then we go all the way to now, and with this war in Iran, it's being influenced by a man who wears Crusader tattoos, like Pete Hegseth, or Pete Kegsbreath, as Kyle Kalinske likes to call him. or the internet. I don't know who made that term, but it's a good one. And he wrote a book called, I think it's called American Crusader or some dumb shit like that. And basically he says that anyone who loves Western civilization should thank the Crusaders. That's how much he romanticizes violence, and that's what the Crusades, and and this is not just I'm not just some woke liberal saying this. This like Christian groups from the 16th century issued apologies for their involvement with the Crusades, and and his pastor has like these wishes of, before he dies, Doug Wilson, before he dies, to have Christ as Lord written in the Constitution, because to him, he thinks like he might not be a rapture guy, Doug Wilson, but he does believe the Iran war is part of spreading Christianity, like this concept that you spread war through Christianity. And it's sick. And any type of fundamentalism should be called out, like especially Islamic fundamentalism, especially Christian fundamentalism. There is no, like, there should be an even playing field when it comes to criticizing fanatical religion. There's a lot of great people out there that are progressives, that are of different faiths, and I think the way we live in peace is by seeing the humanity in people, and seeing that like the paths they walk are just as legitimate as our path, and I might have different beliefs than people, but I can have the same values as them, as other people, as people with different beliefs, And at the end of the day, like, we might debate over different things here and there, and I'm sure there will always be debate as long as there's people. But with me, I'm thinking about actually, getting more into debating, but I'm really bad at communicating, and hence why I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it just because I'm trying to see if I can make any money out there. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I would like to make some money, but it's not my sole goal in life, and it's not my sole goal for doing this. My sole goal is just to share any information that I feel is, I feel like it's pressing for people to know, because I think, especially right now with the spread of Christian nationalism, we need to call out these like misconceptions, and we need to point out how stupid and contradictory they are. And and just by looking at looking at history and stuff, and that's the thing that evangelicals need, that they see history as a cultural battlefield, and when reality, historians view history as an evolving discipline. So, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please comment, and leave a like. Tell me what I can do better again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye.